It's 12th of February 2025 and it's Saturday down? No, it's 7 o'clock in the evening. Apologies for absence. We're obviously missing Jen Donovan, but you've not heard anything, Joe? No. Declarations of interest.
Yeah, I will have to be one. Where is it? Which number is it? Oh, yeah.
375, you?
Yeah.
375?
Yeah, it must be that. The what? History group one.
375.
Oh, it's the minutes here, dear. Can't get the start.
And the 381.
Hang on, one sec.
Yeah, 375.
375, right. Anybody else?
Me.
Hang on.
I'm a member.
Yeah, so you go declare an interest.
Do I?
You're a paid up member for the year,
Yep.
but they have a power to vote at an AGM, don't they, if they're a fully paid up yearly member? Am I right? So they've got a power of voting on your AGM, haven't they? But he's still got an interest. Joe?
Yeah, if you've got a personal interest, if you're on a committee, you have to declare an interest.
I'm not on the committee.
He's a fully paid up member,
But
so he
yeah,
has a
you're
voting
member-
right, does he not?
Yeah, you're a member of the group.
Yeah, I'm on the committee. But yeah.
But your members have a voting right at. Yeah. But do they have a voting right?
Well, no voting right if he'd have put this to the vote, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So does that mean they can or cannot vote, or making a decision on that, on whatever decision?
He has got a voting right at
No, you misunderstood me.
Oh, sorry, yeah. You can stay for the guys that have declared an interest can stay for and obviously talk about it.
Can they
No,
vote?
they can't vote.
Even though they've got no pecuniary interest?
Doesn't matter. It's what Stacey Dorey said. It's the two-hat scenario.
And
Just clarifying the situation.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm not a member.
No. Okay.
regarding to the part 2 meeting, we don't have to declare an interest in that now,
Not
do
at the
we?
moment.
No.
One second. Kate, you've got to declare an interest.
Yeah, in the part 2 meeting.
Right. Is that it? Okay. Minutes for the previous meeting. Has everyone read them? Okay, hang on.
Yes, David.
Yeah, go on.
Sure. Yes. On 363, members' reports, F, George Haywood, you just got one word, agenda. Sorry, don't quite follow that.
George Hayward, yeah, what's that mean?
Yes.
Sorry, which number are you on?
It's
363.
on 363.
F, members' reports.
I don't know, I've got to miss something out there.
It could have been when you were asking about the agenda and when it is coming out and all that, wasn't it?
Fine, well, it's not listed down here.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, no, if that is so, then I want it recorded. what
Yeah,
it is
we'll do.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't decided one way or another at the time.
No, but it's members'
But-
report, wasn't it?
Is it members that brought it up?
You brought it up
Yeah,
and said, I
so-
thought we were going to get the agenda a little bit earlier.
So, as agreed, yeah,
Yeah.
I can bring that on members' reports now today
Yeah.
anyway. But just to clarify because that in 6 months' time would be, what the hell was that? Excuse my
No,
language.
I agree. No, I agree, George. No, I'm sure Joe will just add those words in. Anybody else? No, fine.
Can you use the microphones because they don't come out through the loudspeakers?
Sorry?
Could you use the microphones because it will come out through the loudspeaker?
Oh, right.
I take it ours are working.
Yeah, well, it was when I turned it on.
Right, okay. Public participation. Ladies first over there. You win.
But do you want to do that now?
Public participation.
Okay, fine. Just before I've made a few notes of what I'd like to say, but before, and it's in relation to item 375. I'm sure it's just the terminology, but it says decisions regarding the grant which we've applied for in the
Yeah,
history
it is
group.
a decision, Lynn.
So, is it a discussion and then a decision? So the decision hasn't already been made? No, it will be. Okay, that's fine, because otherwise what I've got to say wouldn't be relevant.
What would have made you think that the decision had already been made?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't know. So I'm attending as a representative of the history group, particularly to support the application to the parish council for a grant towards the cost of the display cabinet and cupboard combined. Now, during the 11 years since it was established, the history group, under the direction of Janet Few, who you know is a professional historian, has amassed a wealth of information, material about Buckland's heritage. So we've been looking at ways to present this so that the wider public has access to it. I mean, by the wider public, I don't just mean the village, but also people really across the world. I don't think it's too strong to say that. We've sort of have to chip away at that and do it rather piecemeal, because we don't have a grand tourist centre or the such. So we do whatever we can to bring the information and display things, materials, in all sorts of ways. And obviously the first big push we had on that was the Buckland Brewer book that we published in 2022. A couple of years ago, we purchased a cupboard for this church over yonder there. And you can see it is basically a cupboard for the use of the history group, but it has got a little display area at the top there. And we use that to keep all sorts of materials, recordings that we've done of oral histories, and it is very useful, but it's locked. So it isn't available for people to look at as and when. Now we want to develop a space in the parish church as a permanent exhibition of artefacts, reports, medals, to honour... Oh, sorry, I'll just pause. Okay, Jim, fine, carry on. To honour Buckland's contributions to major global conflicts, notably, but not exclusively, the World Wars. We've chosen the site which already exhibits the roll of honour and photographs of Buckland servicemen, and we intend to buy another cabinet from the same person who made that one over there. The one that we're hoping to get will necessarily be more complex, therefore more expensive, and it will comprise 3 lockable cupboards surmounted by a display shelf under a glass frame, again, lockable. And this is what we're asking the parish council to consider for contribution. Therefore, I hope I've made it clear that what we're intending to buy is not for the history group per se, and certainly not for the membership, but it's to be in position in the church to lend dignity and status to the exhibition, which will be part of the history group's endeavours to conserve the heritage of this parish for the benefits of all parishioners, present and future, as well as visitors and those who have a personal interest in its history. We're sure that the parish council shares our pride, and we hope that councillors are favourably inclined towards supporting the purchase with a donation towards the cost of the cabinet. Okay, thank you. Any questions or perhaps questions when you come to... Okay.
Anybody? Yeah.
Do you know what size it is? The measurements, because they weren't on
Not off the top of my head, but you...
bigger than that one, obviously.
Yes, it's sort of about the length, about the width.
About the table.
About one of these tables. 3 cupboards underneath. And then a display cabinet, as you might see in a museum.
Yes, I'm not quite sure where you're going to put it in the church. The cabinet you've got there at the moment, do you envisage that one being disbanded and all that stuff in, all that, not stuff, I do apologise, all that, whatever you call the word, it's going to be there or moved to the new one? Are you going to keep
Sorry,
two going?
which one, George? Sorry, which one are you talking about?
Well, you said there was already a cabinet.
There's a cabinet here.
Oh, here.
Yeah,
So do you
just there.
envisage that staying here?
That's staying here because that is primarily for... No, that's not strictly true. There is a nice little display area there. But underneath there's a lockable cupboard and we've got stuff. I'm with you on the word stuff.
So then that's going to be over the
That's
church?
going to be there.
And
This one is the one we're talking about. Do you know, in the church, as you go towards the vestry,
Yep,
on the right there, by the south door,
yep.
there is just a little area, and we particularly
Yeah.
used it at the time of World
So
War
you're going to
One.
have two places for the history?
Yes, but this
Here,
will be much grander and much more like, because we're hoping to be able to put lights in it so that it'll be illuminated.
so you're keeping that one here and then the new
Yeah.
one over there?
And of course, the advantage of the church is that it is open
Yes.
during daylight hours.
Oh yeah, I'm
and
not
people
worried
can-
about it. I was just envisaging, you having one big area, moving or keeping it two places. That's all. Thank you.
I didn't know whether or not you'd been around and got any quotes from anywhere else.
We
or
haven't
anything.
got quotes, no, but we have looked at the prices of them. The difficulty is we had very firm ideas about what we wanted.
Yeah, I
Um,
wasn't sure if you're looking for a display cabinet that has only got one section and then the rest of it is like cupboards. So I didn't
Yes.
know what you wanted it for. So you want like half of it for like just putting, as George, stuff in,
Stuff.
and then the other bit, just that one bit, is just for.
The top of it, which is, as we're saying, probably, I think it's about the width of this table, will be to have artefacts, hopefully things like medals. That's,
It won't be the history stuff.
Right.
no, these are things which people in the parish
Right.
will have not donated, possibly loaned.
But you haven't looked at to see whether or not you could get anything a little bit different, or no?
No, we haven't investigated it exhaustively because we'd like to get it in place for the temporary exhibition that we're going to put on for the VE Day
Right.
events.
Yes. Okay.
When was it decided to acquire, buy this?
The one we're
Yeah.
talking
So
Sorry, I
about.
missed that, Chair. What did you say?
Sorry, I said when was it decided to take on this project? When was that?
Probably once it really dawned that we've got the VE commemoration
Yeah.
event coming up, and we said it would be good to have it in place for them.
Right.
We'd been toying with the idea for some while, because as I say, we're looking all the time at opportunities to display what we know, what we've gained, the things that we've accrued in all sorts of places. But we've been talking about that for a while. And then we thought, let's get on with it and have it in place for the May the 8th events.
Right. Anybody else?
Can I just clarify one thing? You mentioned it's not necessarily, thank you, for the history group, but will the asset be owned by the history group?
It will be owned by the history group, yes.
Okay,
Yes, there isn't any way we could share that ownership. And certainly not with the church. We wouldn't want them to have that responsibility.
okay, right, thank you.
What does that? What was the purpose of that question?
Just because the council can't give something to a church.
Right.
So that's why I just wanted to clarify.
That's, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? Thank you, Lynn.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry.
I'd like to take you back to your meeting of the, let's find it, 13th of November, where on page you decided that being a registered footpath, Back Lane should not have any mechanical vehicles driven through it because you thought that was under the Road Traffic Act. Well, I've done a little bit of research, and Back Lane is on the County Council definitive map, that's the new one, as a track. Now that covers vehicular and footpath, the same as Northwood Lane does, and a number of other lanes in this parish and many others. No, sorry, there was a High Court case where in 1903, Truro Rural District Council.
Sorry, what year?
1903.
That's pre-Road Traffic Act, though, isn't it, of 1988?
Yeah. Now, the bit that matters about that is because there was a judgment that is still used today. There was a review by Natural England in 2008. That was going to check all tracks and make sure they either were or were not on the definitive map. Now that got cancelled by the previous Conservative government and then got cancelled again at Christmas by this Labour government. So that's all in abeyance. But the bit that matters is that Mr. Justice Joyce said there is a maxim, once a highway, always a highway. Once a highway has come into being by whatever means, it continues indefinitely, no matter whether it is used or not. The case was Harvey versus Truro Rural District Council in 1903. Mere disuse of a highway cannot deprive the public of their rights where there has once been a highway. No length of time during which it may not have been used will preclude the public from resuming the exercise of the right to use it if and when they think proper.
Okay, so in 1903 they didn't have mechanically propelled vehicles, did they?
Yeah, well,
Sorry,
yeah,
they
they
did.
must have.
No, they didn't have
Yes,
mechanically.
there was mechanically propelled
Well,
vehicles in
not-
1903.
They did not have mechanically propelled.
Yes, sorry, they did.
So the Road
They were
Traffic
invented.
Act.
They were invented in 1882.
I doubt they would have done that.
Well,
Yes,
that judgment is still being used in this advice.
Right. So what's your point?
My point is you can't ban vehicles from using it.
Are you saying that that's any track in Buckland Brewer?
No.
So all the tracks in Buckland Brewer, so only the track which is called Back Lane is the one you're talking about, but all the other tracks this doesn't apply to.
If you wanted to stop vehicles using a track that also had a footpath, you would have to stop vehicles going up Northwood Lane as one that is opposite and can be seen by everybody, and any other track in this parish or any other parish that also had a footpath. What it means is it's dual use with care. I'm not saying you wouldn't get done if you hurt somebody or went too fast in it, but what it means is that it is dual use.
But if the lane over there, that one's used regularly, and that lane back there has overgrown so much that it's gone so narrow that I personally don't think that you could get a vehicle down there. Maybe a gator, but that would be it.
I go down there with a gator,
Yeah,
which
but
is a vehicle, and I use it,
but-
and a lot of horse people.
But that would be it.
Hang on. Yes,
Can
Jen.
I-
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This was referred to Devon County Council last October for a definitive response, and it was referred to the officer who is responsible for the definitive map for the Torridge area, and she came back and she confirmed that it was designated by means of a modification order in 1994, and that was confirmed in 1996. And the only vehicular use that is permitted, and this goes for any of the same designations, is for land or property access. You cannot drive down if you don't have a property or land ownership on there, and you need it, and there's a gate on that footpath. You're not permitted to take any vehicles down there, and that is what has come back.
I can't argue with a legal judgment that a judge made in 1903.
But that's all been superseded.
Yeah, I don't care what that says. What I'm saying is this judgment has not been overturned. It would require going to
Joe,
court.
Could you take that back to North Devon District Council and just get that ascertained about the 1903 Act?
It would require going to court to change it.
Right.
Also, I'm sorry. Also, I have been using that lane with Land Rovers and gators and tractors when they were smaller, since I was knee-high to a grasshopper and right up through, and I've been using it this last 6 months with a gator. That is a vehicle. He is licensed for the road. He's roadworthy.
George, just
So no, I'm sorry.
hang on,
I'm sorry. No. Sorry. I'm going to finish this. So I can say that it's been used and it should not be taken away. The reason why it was put in the footpath to start with, because the parish council was afraid that in the development that was going on around down there, that that lane, if they was ascertained it was owned by the people who were doing the development, the footpath would be lost. That's why this parish council asked for that footpath to be there, and you cannot, unless you go through the general courts and all the rest of it, get a footpath altered. So that lane has been used mechanically continuously, and they cannot take it away.
No, you're right in the middle of it.
Oh, thank you so much. Sorry.
All right.
And if you're going to take this to this lady up, or whoever on the Torridge Council, that should be stated from this parish council as well, not just specifically ask a question about that the footpath no vehicle should be able to use it.
Yeah, George will get all those questions
Thank
asked,
you.
all right.
That's all I want to put past the table.
Right, one more time. Oh, yes. Public participation. Did you want to ask something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have a
Could you just come up to the microphone?
Yeah, that's
fine.
Firstly, I'm really sorry that I'm a little bit late. I got confused with the times and I thought it was 7:30.
I think one of our councillors did.
Yeah, it used to be, so hence why I was a bit confused. But I just wanted to speak tonight about the planning that you've got on your agenda later on, and to talk to everyone about the nursery that Dad and I have put planning permission in for. But to summarise, and in my own words, it will be a wooden cabin structure on the lawn of Lower Orley Lodge, which is owned by my dad, Geoffrey Beer, a local farmer, and have places for a maximum of 30 children a day. The entrance will be widened, and a travel plan is currently underway to identify the impact of traffic on the road. The focus primarily will be on the under threes, although we'll cover children from 0 to 5, as data from the Buckland, Parkham and Wolseley area highlighted that there were only 2 childminders taking children under 2 years old in this area, with one, including myself, and the other at full capacity. Currently, people with children under 2 have to either rely on family, friends or drive into town where the offer is still limited and places are often full. With the introduction of free childcare for babies from 9 months old in this September just gone, 24, and this is actually increasing from 15 hours to 30 in this September 25, currently there is nowhere in the area for parents to send their children, the youngest children. Data from these areas, when I look closely at it, there was a total of 19 under 2-year-olds that were eligible for funding for children under 2, and 21 2-year-olds that were eligible for funding as well in the autumn term. Wolseley Primary School is currently the only school that is taking 2-year-olds. The closest place currently is in Bideford. However, having spoken to members of the local community, they want to send their babies and toddlers somewhere local, more rural, where they can be in and connected to nature. The nursery will be open from 8 till 6 o'clock, 48 weeks of the year. I myself have 18 years of experience working in early years. I am a qualified early years teacher and worked for 4 years in an outstanding British nursery school in Dubai, as well as managing a large children's nursery more recently in Barnstable. And now I'm childminding at home at Lower Orley Lodge, where the planning permission is for. Now I was thinking what things that you might be interested in as well, and obviously the impact it would have on the local school. So I actually arranged to meet the head back in the autumn term, and I outlined my plans to him. And my biggest priority is actually helping and supporting the school with their numbers, ensuring parents working locally can access childcare and therefore accessing the local village school when they're due to start either preschool or reception. I would also like to think that what I will offer will enhance their provision and not take it away. And I'd also have this idea that I could offer then wraparound care for children of school age in the terms of holiday provision, as I successfully hosted one in Littleham, the next parish along, for 5 summers until the COVID pandemic started. So I shake your hands. Finally, and most importantly, the nursery has been a lifelong dream of mine. Dad lived in the lodge back in 2018 and was there for a short period of time. And I realised then what a perfect location it would be. Now, I am extremely lucky and grateful to call that my home. And I think it's so important that children have an outstanding environment, be connected to nature, and have teachers and staff who are dedicated to give the very youngest children the very best start in life. Thank you for listening. I don't know if you have any questions or if that's allowed.
Could I just, Chair? I missed the age ranges, minimum. I mean, you've got to set it up first, but when you first set it up, what age range are you envisaging from there, and do you envisage taking it a bit older than 5? I don't know.
Yes, so basically, it will be a nursery, so the youngest can be from 3 months old, although I anticipate it will generally be probably 8 to 9 months old that they will enrol, generally, and then it can be up to 5 years of age. But the wraparound care that I'm also proposing later on down the line, if that is in need, and that's what I find that parents are wanting, and I know myself having friends and family with children, the holidays come and there is no provision for children, you know, and parents have to rely on friends or family. So there is that option as well, to have school age up until 11.
Up until 11?
Yes.
Thank you.
For the wraparound side.
Yeah, thank you.
Didn't just talking about Bideford and things like that, about the provision, you know, we do toddler group here on a Monday morning. Children and parents come from Torrington because there's nowhere to go in Torrington.
This is it. There is no nursery in Torrington at all.
Sorry, you said how many children will this take?
A maximum of 30.
And this is probably the wrong word for this, but
No.
market research.
Oh yeah, so I have got data here.
Yeah.
So I have a few copies for you to have a look at. So this was undertaken by, he's called Wayne Pearce. He's the Devon Sufficiency Officer for Early Years Places. So yeah, so this is where I've got my data from. So you can, I've got a few copies. So.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not very good. I know the figures, but yeah. I know the figures, but but it's better. But it's sometimes better when you see it. There you go. This one for you guys. Yeah.
So, you're going to have like a bit of forest school area, an outdoor area.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's really important that children need to be outside in like woodland areas or forest, you know, like.
Definitely.
Play as well.
So where it is being situated, or the proposal is, obviously, is, I don't know if anyone knows Low Orley Lodge, obviously as you go down the hill, you can look right onto that big expanse of land, and there's a whole like forest, woodland right next to it. So we're going to we're going to make little paths that, but as part of our diversity net gain, don't quote me on all these things, the plan of things that we're going to actually, I think we need to only remove one tree, but I think we're going to be, well, we will be planting 8 or 9 trees, so it would be really, I don't know if you have seen the plans online, but it looks amazing. Every time they gave me another plan, I was like, wow. Yeah, so, yes.
So Orley Lodge, there's a number of residences.
No, you're in the wrong place. It's literally, it's on the road, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than Orley Court.
It's not Orley Court. No, not Orley Court. It's the one.
So it's one house with a big expanse. You don't have to get permission from other residents. It's just one house.
No, and it belongs to my dad, who's a local farmer. So it's all part of the farm as well.
Okay.
So and the woodland is part of the farm. You know, yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
George?
just if you're up and running, how many do you envisage the numbers of staff going through or not?
What do you mean? How many
staff you would be going through?
What would how I have? Like, well, I'd like to think at least six to 7 full time. But I think it's really important to go with the need of what's in the nursery as well and grow it.
As you grow, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But the focus will be on employing people that are really dedicated to give children the best start. And I would like to think I would pay a little bit more as well to get that, yeah, to get really good quality.
But you'll be an employer of 1 to 2, 3 or whatever, yes.
Yeah.
And parking facilities and things like that, you've got that all sorted and everything.
Yeah, there is all that space for that. So that was obviously one of the things that the ecologist, when he did his survey, we had to really think carefully about that because, but then it is a massive lawn, so we've not actually had to take away anything. And with the lawn, actually, sort of, when the ecologist came over to the farm, actually, it's quite an exciting day for me because he came over and he said all these amazing ideas about bug hotels and things that I know as a practitioner, but he gave me so much more. And he said, actually, with the parking, you can create sort of Devon banks and there could be like little wildlife homes for animals as well. So you can be putting more in rather than taking it away.
I've just got one more thing, sorry.
Yep.
If you do get the permission, would you be able to put some signs up for the road because it's quite a busy corner there?
Massively, and that was one of the things that we're only just talking about tonight, is that the signs will be there. And I hope that that's the travel plan that we've got underway at the moment, that will probably highlight that as well, that will need to be in place, because, yeah, and hopefully it will slow down the traffic. Well,
thank you, Rosie. Anybody else questions for no? Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah,
I would
please.
just say, if you go on the Torridge planning, you can see all the outlay, the buildings and everything, and it looks magic.
But yeah, I was even impressed. I think I shed a little tear as well when it first came through.
Does look good.
But yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Right, shall we go? Thank you very much for your time.
That's fine. You don't want to wait and see.
You've got a long way.
Watch it on YouTube. We'll spare you. Thank you. Anybody got any? Yes, sorry, Keith. Thank you. I forgot where we were then. So.
Is there any progress on the road signage for Cross Park? Because at last meeting you said you were going to contact them and find out what was happening about it.
Joe's got an update for you.
Yes, I chased it last week, and I am waiting for Torridge to come back with a time scale, but I've been told the same thing, that they will send an officer out to review it and assess where the signs need to go. I have stressed that there need to be 2 signs, not just in the entrance to Southwood Meadows, but to go round the corner as well, so that people don't go into that cul-de-sac. But it's in the hands of the Torridge team, I'm afraid.
How about the rescue too? Rachel's lorry, we thought they would get delivered to
And the Calla lorry, I think, as well. Oh, the Calla lorry, yeah.
Yes, I live in Southwood Meadows, and we've had people come and deliver and put a lot of stuff on our doorstep, and I open the door and say it's not ours. They said, yes, it is, door number 19. And it happens almost weekly, not like that, but almost weekly, having to go to people and tell them where they got to go, because it's so awful. So thank you for that anyway. The other thing is industrial units. Being as the Travis Perkins site in Langtree is now being turned into a number of small commercial units, is there any point in pursuing them here at the present time? Or why don't you just leave it like all the previous councils have done? Thank you.
Thank you for that. Oh, I expect you to, if anyone's wearing headphones at home, I apologise. Anybody else? Right, good. Right. Clerk's report.
Just before I start, can I very quickly, can I just clarify whether you've got any declarations of interest? This is for Councillor Donegan.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Cause you
sorry, yeah, you weren't here. Sorry, yeah. Have you got any...
No, nothing I know of.
Are you a fully paid up member of the history group?
Yes. Also, is that a conflict of interest?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, not too much to report. The precept request was sent in and that's been acknowledged, so that's all in hand. Just quickly to highlight, the latest DOLC newsletter does say something about devolution, and the meeting notes are actually on the website if you want to have a look at those, but I have taken a copy so I can distribute those if you'd rather. The sound equipment is installed, as we know, because we're hopefully using it. Hope that's not tempting fate and it's working. I don't know whether this is going to happen, but I had a notice from Southwest Water. As part of the development, there might be a need to put some dye into the external pipes. This is relating to the sewage works upgrade. Now, just in case anybody does see some very strange yellow or greeny hues in the river. It'll be the stream closest to it. It will clear within a few hours. There's nothing toxic, and it's just purely for them to check the pipework. So nothing to be alarmed about. And household
Can we put something
water
up on,
and
can we put something up on Facebook about that?
well, I'm not even sure whether it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. So it's just in case anyone raises that the stream's suddenly gone a bit of a strange colour.
below the sewage works?
Yes, it
or
is.
right, okay.
Yeah, and it won't go beyond that because it will clear. You know, it will be so diluted by the time it goes any further. It'll only be that little stretch.
So it won't be down the bridge?
No, no. I've chased about the orchard trees. We're due to get some orchard trees, and I was expecting to have an update by the end of January, so I've just asked when they're going to be available. I'm not sure at this stage whether they're going to be delivered or if we have to collect them. We're getting 25, so we might need to find somebody with a suitable vehicle. And the only other thing is the defibrillator cabinet has been delivered, but not the new defibrillator yet. So that cabinet will be installed the week after next, because it's got to be installed by an electrician. And I'm just waiting for confirmation of when the defibrillator itself will be delivered to me. If it arrives before that cabinet is in, then I will put the defibrillator in the existing cabinet so that it is available. And I will do an update on for everyone to say that it is back in use.
And then the 3 people that have...
And then we just need to sort out the training once that's all available.
Yeah.
Just to save time, on the one I was looking at down the village hall, there's no number on the cabinet.
Never had
It
been.
needs something put on there.
No, it doesn't at the moment.
No, it doesn't. And the postcode, I don't know whether you want me to put on
No, it doesn't need it on the moment. You only need a number once the cabinet is locked. If you've got a locked cabinet, you need to quote a number.
Oh, it's still on the old way at the moment then?
Yeah.
Right.
So as soon
and see it inside.
Yeah, so as soon as the cabinets are swapped to locked ones, then they will have reference numbers on the front so that people can quote, you know, they need to get access to this number.
On the inside, once you get looking, you need glasses.
Yeah.
It's never had a number, John.
There is one inside, you need a magnifying glass.
I've got the old defibrillator and 2 power packs at home, the one that was out here. So I guess they got to go somewhere. Will they go back to, or what should we do with them?
Are they spent ones, or can they be used?
No, it's ones I've took out that were out of date.
Oh, I'll find out if there's a battery recycling place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, perhaps I'll take them up to the recycle place. Probably the best thing.
We'll check on that. That's it, thank you.
How often was I supposed to look at the thing?
We haven't yet, have you? You haven't yet, have you?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, 3 times.
You know what you're looking for?
Not a lot, but
You just stood there and admired it?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, oh look, check it's still there.
Yeah.
I think they're meant to be done once a month, George.
Oh, right.
But I think you've got to be shown what you're looking at.
Yeah. And it's going to be right.
Still there.
It's going to be put onto the website as well.
What? And I've been there?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to check in.
The CCTV looking down at you.
But yeah, that'll need to be set up. You see, because it's
Right.
When will we be trained then? Do you know? Oh.
You're training, aren't you? You're doing the training, are you not?
Oh, me?
You.
Me?
Yeah, you're a defib extraordinaire.
Yeah, but not. You wouldn't put anybody's life in my hands, would they?
Well, that's really heart-wrenching. That we've... all right, okay.
Sorry, no, seriously, I've been waiting to eat them, because I haven't got a clue what I'm looking at.
We're waiting for the new ones to be installed, and then I was told that Dave Watson was going to train you. But I'm now slightly worried that Dave Watson's going to...
Not a good idea, is that?
With all due respect,
I mean, there are people
how do
around
I
who
know
can
the
do it.
thing is there ready to work?
Yeah.
I haven't got a clue.
No.
That's all right.
So you've been down
So,
and
yeah, but when do I-
admired it for three times
Yeah,
and still don't know if it can be
No, I
used.
don't know. Except that nobody's been in there at the thing, that's all I can tell you.
So you guys need to be I mean, can it not be shown on the old ones? Can you lot send an email amongst yourselves and sort out a date and just get the three of you with Dave and then around one?
Who's the trainer?
Well, worryingly now, it's Dave.
Surely if we get the new one, somebody from there would be able to signpost us to somebody.
We were gonna.
It's so easy.
I know it is. I'm quite happy to do it.
We've,
I'm training at work.
we've had people, Julia Landorfi come in and did some training before didn't just about the kind of defibrillator.
No.
It's about CPR, it's about other things that goes along with that. So that's something I thought we're going to arrange for that, aren't we?
Aren't we going to arrange for the parish to do something like that?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's plenty of people out here that don't know how to use defibs and might need one.
Parish did it when we had the first defib.
Yeah.
Good take up?
Yes.
Yeah, there was
Good.
quite a few
So
people.
as we've got new
But a
people,
while ago.
yeah,
I think it would be good to do that.
that's good, isn't it?
It's probably best to get somebody who's a proper trainer.
Yeah, with all due respect, if I had signed this thing off as okay, and I'm not got a clue what I'm looking for, and somebody goes to use it, I could be liable for a lot. But I should pass that on to the parish council.
Can we look into some training?
We're discussing training in the part 2 meeting.
So let's try and sort that out.
Compare diaries and all the rest of it, so we can cover all that in the next meeting.
Right? Great. Decision whether to approve the purchase of a BBPC meeting advertising banner. Can you remember we discussed it a few months ago? Do we have a quote, Joe?
We do. £110 plus VAT.
Which we can claim back.
Sorry, can I ask,
Yeah.
what are you envisaging?
Well,
I don't think I was there.
Okay. A member of the parish contacted us and said, wouldn't it be nice for the people that don't have the internet and don't have all the other bits of knowing when parish councils are on, that we have, like Dave has, coffee morning banner sat outside.
And then when we go up to, when we go up to there, we move it up to there, church.
Well, we don't go up there, do we?
We used to, all I know.
It's just a banner, isn't it?
It's a banner.
Banner, yeah. Thank
It's
you.
a movable banner.
Yeah, thank you.
So do you put the date of the on it each time?
Well, you see, I was thinking, because what do you have on your banner?
Coffee morning.
I put next Wednesday. Can't you put next Wednesday?
No,
It's just that meeting today, doesn't it?
because it would be only there. I guess it would be only there on the day it's going to happen.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
You wouldn't want it up all week.
Parish council meeting tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And that,
Well, this Wednesday.
Well, no, because people.
don't make it too complicated, because.
Yeah, because
Well, yeah, but
What
They
happens
might
on the
forget
following
by then.
Thursday?
yeah, precisely.
if we're going to put it up on the day, isn't it?
Go up from the Wednesday.
It'll have to go up after I've taken down.
Precisely,
The
and
coffee
anybody
morning
who's
one.
passing it might pick up on. Do you see what I'm saying? People will forget if it says next Wednesday.
Yeah.
I have trouble enough trying to remember it, so. Anyway, does anyone think that that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll put it up then.
A waste of money.
Well, it's what some people in the parish have asked for. I mean, it's not something I've ever thought about either, but I use the internet. But this is for the elderly people that evidently don't have, I'm going to rephrase that, it's not just the elderly. It's a lot of people that don't have the internet that would just happen to be walking past and go, parish council meeting tonight.
So when would, sorry, I tend to agree with Councillor Mills there, but when someone's going to be liable to put it up, what, a day before, same day, or what?
Same day.
I'll put it up.
In the morning?
No, after the coffee morning.
It's got to go up in the
After the what?
Afternoon, yeah.
After the coffee morning.
Yeah.
On a
Well,
Wednesday.
it'll be put up at daylight then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take that one down and
Put
just
another one
put
up.
the other one up. As long as, yeah.
Okay, do you
I
guys
don't
think
get
it would be
confused.
useful to know when there's a parish council meeting? You do? Because you don't have the internet.
Is there
do you,
not
John?
word of mouth? I'm just trying to think, is there word of mouth that people go round,
Well,
talk to people? I don't know.
well,
You
I
think-
can tell they're
You think
hammering
it'd
at the doors to get in, aren't they?
You think it'd be useful? Fine.
Okay, well, I'll
That's
propose it. Anyone want to second
I'll
it?
second.
And those for? Those against? Joe? We can get the VAT back as well, can't we? Very important. Decision 374, decision whether to adopt and implement the draft emergency plan. Over to you, Kate.
Well, we talked about it before, didn't we, at a previous meeting? And then we, I think it got to be Christmas and we didn't discuss it. So we have got a plan, but I think it needs perhaps a working group to just look at it, because there's a few things on it that, like where we would meet and whether we would need a generator. I think there's a few things that we need to discuss and iron out. I'm not proposing at this meeting because I think it needs just a little working party to have a look at it, draw up a list of what we would actually need to be able to implement it. And in that one, there are things like once a year we would have to have a practice emergency, and some of them are tabletop exercises, but one of the proposals in the plan is an actual proper full-on emergency plan with everybody involved, and I think that just goes way further than what we were envisaging. So
Oh no, I agree with you.
it needs working on.
Joe and
I'm
I
happy
worked-
to work on it.
No, Joe and I worked on this before I came on the parish
I
council.
know you did,
and,
but what we've got at the moment is
Too much.
too much,
Yeah.
I agree with
way
you.
too much. I'm
Yeah.
happy
I agree
to
with you.
start a group working on it,
Yeah.
so I'm quite interested in
Yeah,
doing it if other, if
you're
two or
talking
three
about
other
scaling
people-
it down.
Yeah, making it more relevant just to
No, I agree
the
with
kind
you.
of things that would happen.
Pe-
The power cut, and and we did talk about drawing up a list of people who might just want to be checked on at
Yeah.
home. They not necessarily want to come somewhere. Probably most people want to stay in the house, but do we have to take up a hot pot of soup or something? It's practical. When we had that weather, we all checked on neighbours,
Yeah.
didn't we? And
Yeah.
things like that. But there were one or two people who it came to light later we didn't check on,
No.
just because we didn't know.
Yeah,
So I just want to make it more relevant, really.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should, because it did highlight some things about people who need to kind of, who've got medical electronic gear and things like that needs to be kind of recharged.
we do
and
need to
things
be
like that.
educating people though, because
Aye.
these things.
Oh
happen.
yeah. But I do know, there was somebody who was out for 8 days.
I know.
Yeah, it was a long time.
We were
wasn't
out
it?
for
Yeah.
6,
Yeah.
7.
So I think
Not 8
I think
Yeah.
I
So,
think
so
you're right,
who wants
Kate.
to help me then?
Oh, I will.
Yeah, the other
Thank
thing. The other thing is, was it ever finalised
No.
about? Yeah. Well, to my mind, it should be down the village hall. You've got
Oh
everything
no,
there.
we're not
But
discussing that right
I
now.
know, no, yes, but it was never finalised.
It was never
was it?
finalised. No.
No, so that will be done at a later date. Where
Yeah,
it'll be the majority
I'll be
decision.
honest-
It'll be the majority decision. I accept.
I absolutely, I'll be honest with you, when we talked about where these places were going to be, having had that power cut and Lou, God love her, went over and looked after a 96-year-old that said, under no certain terms, I'm leaving my house.
No.
It sort of registered me that most people wouldn't want to leave their home
They must
and
be
go
safer to be at home.
precisely, and would rather be looked after at home. And would we actually, and I think it's coming back to what you were saying, is it's somewhere where a few volunteers can get together, boil some water up and quickly deliver it around to people. Is that
Yeah, I just think we need to make it more relevant to
Yeah.
the likely scenarios and to the needs of the parish.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. So
You
me and
want-
Dave.
Oh joy.
You fell into that.
I
trap.
didn't look to my right. I was sort of hoping that Councillor Hayward would volunteer, but
volunteered.
it's not.
Listen, I was under
Bearing in mind
almighty
that he's in
stress.
defibrillators.
I was almighty stressed the 8 days, whether you can get me snow, what I do the salt.
Don't try and palm this off in your snowboard and stuff, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So-
can we defer that for a
Yes.
working group
Yeah,
to
yeah,
come back?
that's what I was thinking. It doesn't need
Which
all of
you're
us, does
heading.
it? Yeah, I'll get back to you with the date.
Thank you.
And also to decide about the generator, they'll be a lot cheaper next summer, we'll worry about that. So, because I remember 76 when we dug the village out, and then we were really out for 2 weeks. So, yes,
All right.
I'm that
Are
old.
you sure you don't mean 78?
Maybe 78. I can't count.
It was a bad year down here in Devon in
It
78,
was.
because I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, 63 years,
63.
yeah. My father walked from Ilfracombe to Barnstable for the birth
I
of
walked-
my brother.
Yeah, diversity. When I walked from where I live now to the farm, and I never saw a hedge, I walked over every hedge, and I lost the tractor because they got it frosted in, and I didn't find it for 2 days because it was buried under snow. I couldn't find it.
Right. You haven't just joined the history group, by the way. Right. Okay, we've deferred that, Jay, for Gate to do a working group. Did I definitely say yes to that?
You
Oh,
volunteered.
did I? All right.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, 375, decision whether to grant monies to Buckland Brewer History Group granted for £1,000 credited towards the cost of a bespoke oak cabinet to display local memorabilia. Anybody want to start this off? You can join in the discussion.
Thank you.
Yeah, go on.
Start, we are breaking our governance, end of.
Okay.
Sorry?
We all agreed that we wouldn't be making any grants in 24-25. So if we start giving out grants now, where do we stop? And we all agreed it.
Well, then
I
you,
know, I feel
Hang on.
awful saying it, I feel terrible, but that's the bottom line.
But that was made 6 months ago. And we can bring it up and talk about it again.
Well, it's not
Well, it's not on the agenda to be
policy.
discussed,
It's a
is it?
policy, isn't it? This is the thing.
It's not on the agenda. We can't discuss something that's not on the agenda, Trevor.
so what you're saying then is once we get into 25,
5. Yeah.
we can then decide whether we can do with grants or what we can do with grants.
April the 1st, new financial year.
New financial year.
Mm.
So this decision, so we can't make a decision if you're going to go to it, Councillor Ainsworth says, we can't make it because we've already passed a motion saying there is no grants, but then you tell me with Councillor Mills' 6 month thing, can this be looked at now? I don't know the legality of it or whatever.
No, we can't look at it now, George, because it's not on the agenda. So it's
Oh,
not,
sorry.
not a motion. So
Sorry,
we
what's
can't
not on the
discuss-
agenda is on the agenda here.
No,
No.
we can't discuss the giving of grants because it's not on. We can't talk about overturning our grant policy right now because it's not on an agenda.
But Councillor Mills said that after 6 months we can discuss it.
If it's on the agenda.
If it's on the agenda.
It was on the agenda.
No, that's for the history group.
We'll
George.
put it on the next agenda.
Oh, I see. Okay. Fine.
I mean,
March anyway.
with, I know I can't vote, but
No, that's fine.
this is a special occasion now. It's for commemorating BE Day, and that's what it's come to the fore now, isn't it? Because that's what we want. We want to put it on display so people can see it.
I agree with Phil. This is a really difficult decision, and I would like to state that I have never said to Mrs. Leighton we would say no or we would say yes or whatever. I was trying to explain that we would breach our governance if we were going forward. That's what I've tried to explain, so that it basically managed people's expectations about what was said around this table. I've never said no. We're all saying no because I know there's people around this table that will have different views, and it needs to be spoken about at full council. And it is difficult because it is for the, as you say, for the village and everything else. But rules are rules at the moment, and we can defer this.
But it can't be deferred too long because it'll.
Well, I realise that, but there is it'll
be here.
The VE Day, we've known about this for the 80th anniversary would be happening for 80 years. And I do have to question why it has been left till the dying moments to come to the parish council to ask firstly for £1,000, which is a lot of money, firstly. Secondly, why there hasn't been any fundraising to try and raise that money, because I do feel that it's expected of other organisations to raise money as well. You are giving...
Yeah, they're going to be raising money.
Yeah.
Right.
They said that. Sorry, putting in. But we've just signed off.
Yeah.
If we can't give grants or give money, we just signed off 100 quid to put a sign
That's
up
not
outside
grant.
here.
But that's not a grant.
That's our
Well,
own
you're
money.
cutting a fine line.
That's our own money, though, George.
That's our own money.
That's our
It's
out our
for-
own accounts. A sign that
So
we
where's
want.
this? So where's this?
Would be
Where's this? I'm not suggesting we give £1,000, but where's this money coming? It's not our own money to give.
Well, the parish council can spend money on itself. The parish council is spending money on advertising the fact that we're having meetings. But that's not a grant. What's been asked for is a grant. And we made the decision back in 23, whatever it was, that we were not going to give any grants for 2 years.
Yes, yeah, quite agree.
If we renege on that, we might as well all go home.
Unless we vote it different, whatever.
Yeah, and this is exactly the way I feel. If we're going to do things properly, we need to have a full meeting again and discuss
That's
this
fine.
about
As long as you have a full
grants.
meeting. Yeah, I'd love to have a full meeting about it.
I'm like Phil. This sort of the side of politics I don't like at all, because it's making decisions where, you know, it's difficult, but we have rules, and I'm a rules person, and I think we have to stick by the rules that we have set, but there is no reason, as Councillor Mills has said, we can't re-look at this, because I'm sure Councillor Mills will ask for it to go back on the agenda, will you not? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And we look at our finances, where we're coming to the end of that financial year, and we can look again at our finances. The only thing is, we can't give you a grant in retrospect.
So they apply again.
No, so if they've already paid for this and it's already gone through and everything else, we can't give a grant. That is a grant policy. We cannot give it.
We can give a grant towards the cost.
No, yes,
Before they buy it.
Before they buy it.
No, I think. Sorry, you. Anyway, I don't agree with that at all.
Kate,
as it can be brought up again, that's fine.
So, yeah, what we're saying is we'd have
It's
to look
because
at
it's
our
not just for the
policy.
history. It's just not for the benefit of the history group. It's for the parishioners.
Listen to what Kate has got to say.
We're saying we could change our policy. As our policy stands at the moment, we're not giving grants, we all agreed that. But next month we could look at that policy, and if we decide there is a different way of wording it that would mean we could give some grants, then we'll do it. Hopefully we would be in time. Right, it's a matter of timing. Yeah.
Fine.
Where are you at? Where are you at? Sorry, Sally. Where are you at with buying it?
You mean, how much money have we got towards it?
Yeah, you've obviously ordered it, haven't you?
No.
Okay.
No, the chap who...
Can somebody just turn the microphone towards so, because I'm sure other people are interested in what...
It's all right, I'll get it. The person who is going to make it is holding fire, waiting for a decision from us, which is to do with can we afford it. It's difficult. I can't speak out of turn because obviously I'm only a representative. I'm not the entire committee. But the question I was thinking of, if we went ahead and we somehow got a loan to go ahead. We were planning to do this at some point. So
Right.
your point about all of a sudden you're doing it all at the last minute. It wasn't until we really started to think about what we were going to do for the temporary exhibition for May that we really wanted to get a move on. So yes, we were we caught ourselves on the back foot. Therefore, we are in this position where we're asking for it now and it's all a big hurry. If we were to get some sort of a loan to cover what you might give us and went ahead and had it made,
No, it
couldn't
would
do
be in
it.
retrospect, won't it?
That's a retrospect, so
That's a
couldn't do that.
retrospect.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I've forgotten what you asked me to
I
respond.
don't know myself as well.
You'd already ordered it. Had you already ordered
Yeah, have you
No,
already
we
ordered
haven't
it? You
ordered
haven't.
it.
That's,
No.
that's
Yeah.
fine. How long does it take to make?
He said if we give him the order early in March, he will have it ready for mid-April.
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 Yeah,
Mhm.
so it could. Yeah.
Could I just ask,
Yes.
with all due respect, £1,000 cabinet is a fairly hefty piece of kit.
It isn't 1,000, it's
Or 2,500,
2,500.
sorry, yeah, we wouldn't, yeah, fine.
Yeah, it is.
With all due respect, yeah, if we won the lottery, it'd be no problem. But anyway, do you have to spend that much money, or can you get something made which will suit the requirements as needed for all this delicate stuff?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes. Yeah. Can you, I mean, can you cut your cloth according to your whatever it is?
We may have to look at that.
Sorry.
If you can help us, yes, we can help you. I hope so.
Well, if we vote on it.
I know.
Perhaps, have you looked around, like I asked earlier, have you looked around elsewhere? Not saying, you obviously got your set on this person, but have you looked anywhere else at all?
We have looked, yes,
We
yes.
spent some time looking.
Yes,
Yes.
I bet it does.
And they're all round about 1,500, 2,000.
Right.
But we're going up to 2,500.
Yes.
And that thing over there was 1,100.
Mm.
13.
That cabinet over the 30, well, I thought we was told it was...
It was 1,300, we were told.
1,300. So
Dave,
that was
can you remember?
£1,300. All of a sudden we're spending another £1,200.
How much?
It was about 1,300, 12.
Yeah. 12.
12, 15.
It is big.
Right, I'm going to be really patient. In this world of reuse and recycle,
Yeah.
I thought that maybe if you went onto eBay or something
Yes,
like
we've
that,
been on eBay.
because I've seen quite some nice cabinets on eBay, like
Ex-jewellery things.
We spent
Yes.
hours and hours and hours.
Yes, but of course we do have to have regard to the fact that it's going to go into a church, just as we thought about that in connection with it, where you don't want somebody's cast off rubbish. It's got to be something
But I
decent.
thought that you could buy something and have it adapted that wouldn't cost as much money.
Well, yes, it might be.
And how I look at it as well is this is what the precept, this is parishioners' money as well.
And we're doing it for the parishioners.
Yeah, but you know, it's a lot of money, and I just think there are other things that maybe possibly could be looked at that could be better value and
Yes,
reused.
which we may have to. We should take your decision back to the committee, and we shall have to go with, what we've got, where else we might apply for money, and to consider other options.
Because it obviously needs to be fairly sturdy. It's going to be there in the church where it's going to be cold and cold.
And damp.
Well, that's my other concern, is if the church does close, if it did close and they didn't get that roof, what would happen to the cabinet then?
Come in here. But of course,
Do they know that?
he is the treasurer.
Let's hope you get the highest bid for it.
In the village hall.
Yes.
School.
But of course, yes, because the, as I said previously, the big attraction of putting it in the church is because it's open.
Yeah.
And people come in quite considerable numbers, just on the off chance to have a look around, anything interesting to look at, but also people come from abroad looking for, because their their ancestors from here, and this is part of what we're trying to do to take care of the heritage. Thank you, Dave, yes.
Okay. as it stands at the moment, yes, Keith.
Next door to me, they make bespoke furniture. If you can let me have the details of what you want, I can ask him for a price. I mean, it might be a lot more than that, but they do make bespoke furniture for anybody that wants it. So I might have to get a quote if you like.
So, if you learn to speak, look, I understand exactly what you've said, and you've done exactly the right, you've made rules and they are and stuff. But I think the feeling that I've picked up is that you want to support, but you can't at the moment. You can't retrospectively either.
No.
Ask me for 500 quid and I can give you £500 because it's public money that you've quite rightly highlighted. The money that I've got in the fund is public money also that everybody's donated towards through the council tax. I'll give you £500, I'll tell you how to get it, but you'll have to do it very quickly before we go into further the elections. I'll speak to you afterwards and that might help a little.
Does that help?
Do we have to ask you, or?
No, I think if Lynn...
Just need to forget about it being in a church.
Thank you.
Thank you,
What
James.
you do, well, it's up to you.
Well, that, yes, I was going to say, yeah, it is a church thing.
For the history.
Right, okay.
Brilliant, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yes.
That is brilliant, because believe me, this is a really, really tough decision. And like I said to you when I spoke to you the other day, and you said, well, rules are rules, and that it's so difficult when we are abiding by the rules. And we've got to abide by those rules, because if those rules aren't there, it's going to be mayhem. So we've got to abide by those rules. Yeah, go carry on then.
One final point.
Yep.
Obviously, we've all in the parish have all got the opportunity to read what goes on in parish council meetings.
Yeah.
But when this came up for discussion in committee, it wasn't pointed out that there was this freeze on grants.
And you've got a parish councillor on your
And an
committee.
ex-parish council.
The ex-parish councillor wouldn't have known that because it was in the current parish council that this has been
No,
frozen in the
but
last 2
what
years.
I'm saying is it wasn't, I don't think it was adequately
Highlighted.
publicised, highlighted
It's
to
in
the
the
community.
minutes, and I actually mentioned it in the AGM in May in my speech. Now, whether people fell asleep while I was giving that speech, I don't know. But I do mention it in
Because
quite...
it came as a surprise.
Really? Okay. It was mentioned at the AGM. Councillor Watson should have pointed it out at your meeting.
But you probably forgot.
Okay.
Herding kittens.
But I just thought it was worth mentioning before.
No, it's a really good point, Lynn. Right. How does everybody feel about this at the moment? What do you want to do?
So, we'll bring it up at the next meeting, or when we can,
Yeah,
after
that
the
can
next
go on,
budget.
yeah.
Yeah, bring it up after the next budget. And make a note, we thank Councillor Morris for...
Does that help?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we have to make
We've
the
got to make a
decision
vote.
now,
We've got to
don't we?
vote.
Have to
We've got to vote. So, who wants to propose this?
Well, I'm happy to propose that we revisit giving grants next meeting and that we thank Councillor Morris for his generous offer.
We need to be on this, though.
So our decision is not to give anything at the moment because we can't.
Okay, so this is what we're going to be voting on then, Kate.
So
All right.
I propose at the moment, because of the rule that we have set ourselves, because we had such difficulty with setting precepts and everything, that we don't give any money at the moment, but that we put it on the agenda to have a revisit of it.
Okay, who wants to second that?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Can we have a vote for that, please? In favour?
I can't vote.
You can't vote, Trev. You can't vote. I don't want to keep you.
Sorry, what are you proposing?
Right.
Proposing to say no to this grant, but to put the question of whether we can look at giving grants on the next agenda.
Right, so it's a no. Okay?
Yeah, we can't defer it, can we?
No, we're not deferring.
No.
No, we're not deferring.
It's
We have
coming up
said
next- it's
no,
coming up.
and then somebody will ask for it to go on the agenda next month.
Right.
All right?
It is next month, is it? After the...
March.
March, yeah. We'll talk about whether we
We
can
And
look at
Lynn,
our grants.
feel free to put it in again then.
Right.
And then they
Maybe
can
you should give
apply
Lynn
again.
the heads up when to do that.
We're going to
should
look
be
at,
in-
we're going to look at what we've said about giving grants at the next meeting.
No, but hasn't it got to be, sorry, hasn't it got to be April, because we can't discuss, there's a moratorium until the 1st of April.
Oh,
So
no,
we
sorry, yeah,
can't-
you're right.
We can't do anything
Sorry, Lynn,
until
you're
April.
referred to April.
But at least you've got 500, so at least
Well,
No,
you'll be able
we
to
can,
go for a
we
little
can
slightly-
revisit the policy, can't we?
I'm sorry, point of order for the grant, you can't, you're agreeing this and that will be for 6 months.
What, for
If you're talking about the grant,
the grant for the history group?
well, yeah, because that's what you're agreeing is for 6 months. You can't put it back on the agenda for 6 months.
But if they come back
Yeah,
with a request for a grant for a lesser amount, would that be a different grant application?
No, well, the same,
Then what? Same thing, but slightly different wording.
But that would be
Yeah.
on the 1st of April, wouldn't it? We will be agreeing to...
No, I think Joe's saying 6
Right.
months from today.
Yeah.
before you can put that on the agenda again. If you're making a decision, then
Yeah.
that's
So can we defer it then?
order.
Can we defer this until
Go on.
April?
Yeah, it's £500 from Jack.
Can we
But I
def-
was going to say, on a positive side, they've got £500, and perhaps they can go for a slightly smaller one, or Mr. Jackson might, his neighbour might have something up the pipeline, mightn't you?
So Joe, sorry Joe, can you just explain to me where we're at with this now? Because I just muted you on. Right. We have now voted that we can't give the history group a grant
Well,
because
if you-
we are abiding by our rules.
Yeah, well, regardless of what we're talking about,
Yeah.
if you've put something on the agenda and you've made a decision on it,
Yeah.
standing orders say that you can't revisit that for 6 months.
Is that for any grant or just the history
It's not
group?
grants, it's a decision.
A decision, right.
So you don't put it back on the agenda for another 6 months. Now,
For the history group?
yeah, and so if they wanted to apply for another grant, then they can do that legitimately later in the year. But that would, you've already considered this. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be
And
a
then-
different amount.
Can we defer this decision until April? To defer this decision of everything we've done until April?
Well, it'd be too late then. So.
Well, and just very quickly, just with regards to that, you've already set your budget for next year because the precept has already been submitted. So that budget is already done. So you've already decided really what you're doing as far as spend is concerned next year.
Have we put grants in that?
We've got grants in there.
Yeah.
There's a small
Minimum.
amount in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't very much.
Thank you very much.
Oh dear.
Be 500 quid. Right, hang on. Yeah. Are you offering him the other 500 quid?
Regrettably not.
Okay.
Chair, you don't have to make a decision tonight because you can't make a decision tonight. What you could record is that you're unable to make a decision and therefore you're not starting the 6-month moratorium period because you haven't made a decision. You can't.
To defer it?
Yeah, defer it.
You're saying defer it? Joe?
Well, it's up to you.
No,
Fine.
that's
We'll
what you're
defer.
saying, if we
Yeah.
defer.
Well, if you defer, that's fine because
That's fine.
that clock doesn't start ticking.
That's fine.
For the
Defer it.
agenda. But you can't do.
We're going to have to defer it till the April
Yes.
meeting.
Yeah.
All right?
We defer it.
So it can be deferred, we can reapply in April.
Now we can defer this decision and discuss the same thing again in April, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Yes?
because we've
Yes.
not made a decision.
Sorry, Jude.
We're deferring your request, as I understand it, until April.
Is that how you're recording it, Joe?
Decision deferred until April's meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
But does that give them time then to get this thing ordered and built.
Well, I'm sure you can think
In
of
a
a way,
month.
Lynn.
In a month.
Yes.
If you actually decide to defer it
Yeah, which
you're not starting with 6 months again, what I believe, you are unable to make a decision.
right. So what you're saying is we say we're unable to make a decision at this time. We need to wait till the 1st of April so that to go with our governance, so from the 1st of April we can make a decision and we put it on to April's agenda.
So it's not called deferred then?
So it's not called deferred. Is that what you're saying, Clive? Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's against your rules.
Yeah.
And you're not starting with 6
That's what I was trying to explain to you the other day. Was it's just been the rules.
Right, job done.
So do we need to propose that then?
Yeah. So
Do we need to?
no, we
or
don't need
just
to propose
record
that.
it
We're just
unable?
recording it. So Joe's
Yeah.
probably scratched it out a million times now and is putting in that.
Unable to
I
reach
thought
a decision.
you were just deferring it.
No,
so
we're not
after you
deferring
produce
it. We're
the
unable to come to a
policy.
decision.
That's fine.
To bring it back to April, something.
And then can we have it on the agenda in April?
A new application.
A new
Well,
application.
if you're doing that, you're deferring it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm just going to leave
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
Fresh application
Yeah.
in April.
Fresh application in April.
Shall I do it all again in April?
Well, I'm sure you can just photocopy what you put in without a different amount. With a different amount. Is everybody okay with that? We all understand where we're going. Thank the Lord.
Can I thank everybody for giving it such careful consideration and comments from people?
We do take it seriously. We do. Believe it or not, we do. Yeah. That's why I spoke to you the other day.
Councillor Morris.
And well, yeah, you can. I mean, he's your saviour of the day, isn't he? Yeah, I was going to say, somebody make the door open. All right? Okay, everybody happy to move on?
Yeah.
Right. You're right?
Yeah.
Still awake? Agreement of the wording of the BBPC devolution statement. The statement is to be submitted to DULC, that's Devon Association of Local Councils, to collate council views in Devon and lobby central government. Thanks for that, Sam. Oh, okay, we can hear a pin drop. So basically, Joe sent out what he felt could be sent in. I know you put some comments on there. Yeah, I thought, go on. Go on.
Oh, sorry. I queried why the industrial site, because we've lost one industrial site which employed a lot of people in the village, a small industrial site, hopefully in a few years' time, the sort of thing that most villages got now, that we some sort of industrial site, wish list of some sort of industrial site. According to the parishioners.
Did you read the email Joe sent back?
I did, I read it, I didn't agree with it, but I'm just saying, there's nothing mentioned about the industrial site, and if I'm overruled, I'm fine.
But we're
That's
still
democracy.
discussing that, aren't we?
Precisely.
Yes, it may be discussing, but well.
Right, was everybody happy with the letter that Joe put together?
Yes.
I've just got one little thing. I'm not unhappy. It was just to say that Joe has said that the school is full. I think that's a little bit of a dangerous thing to say because I don't think I've checked with Bridget in the office. It's not full, and also I think that might put people off moving in. And even if the school were full, there are ways and means of growing the school. I mean, they've done it before. They've split classrooms and things up. So I think we perhaps would need to be a bit careful with that statement. I mean, I think Joe's put together a brilliant statement.
Well.
I couldn't have done it, and we're nitpicking.
Yeah.
But I do think it's that's something quite important.
You can come up with the numbers to give to Joe out of.
Well attended.
or well attended or something like that,
Yeah.
or
There
out
is-
of
there still is-
200
there still
it's
is.
150 are filled or something, I don't
I
know.
think putting a number on it again is dangerous.
Dangerous.
I think to say it's
Dangerous.
it's
Well attended,
well
well
attended,
attended,
but
then.
you know, but has
It
space.
fluctuates all the time.
Yeah, it does. But you know, they could always do with more children. We've been always wanted more children at school.
Joe, you can
So,
dally that around,
yeah.
can't you?
I don't want
Apart
to
from
be
that, is
negative,
everybody
but-
else happy with it?
I mean,
David?
George was on about, I guess, in the aspirations part, when it's about the...
This is what this is the aspiration.
The industrial units and also...
Oh no, he is. No, he's going to say what I think he's going to say. I can hear it. I'm feeling it.
the social housing.
Social housing, David.
Joe, can you just explain, please, why that isn't going in there? Could you explain it better than me?
What this was about, the meeting that Dog held, this is about the services provided by the higher tier councils and what the impact is potentially going to be on the town and parish councils, depending on what happens. And obviously, nobody knows what that's going to look like. So, town and parish councils are just having an opportunity to flag what their current priorities are and what's really important to their particular parish, and what their sort of concerns are in relation to where they want to be, and the services that they think are potentially impacted. And a lot of parishes at the meeting were very, very concerned that a lot of the services would be pushed down to town and parish councils that really weren't equipped to deal with it, either in terms of finances or practical resources. So that's what this is about, really. It's not looking at any local projects. It's not relating to the local plan or the housing plan or anything else that's going on at the moment. It's simply looking at it purely from a council perspective and those services.
Which to me, means that if you don't mention the aspirations, that if you don't mention the aspirations, now we've agreed that we're going to have a survey or a thingy bob to do it what the majority of people want to have now. We did a survey in 2011 to 2031, which people wanted that. A small industrial unit keeps jobs in the village, in a growing village, and keeps it young.
We're not
people,
doubting
whatever.
that, George.
But it's an aspiration. If you don't put an aspiration in, this is supposed to be an aspiration.
I don't think that's what the question
No, but this is an aspiration. It was stated that this is an aspiration. Don't want aspirations. So I'm saying that maybe the word industrial units, small industrial units, would be very well apt, that they can see in front of them. And I'll bet a lot of villages who haven't got it, when you go to like Brownlee, Langtree, or the rest of it.
I don't think that's what they were actually asking for on that.
Well, I don't agree with that, but this is what I'm putting.
Well,
If I'm overruled,
all
fine.
right. Can we vote for in its current state, please? I'll propose. Can I have a seconder?
Second.
Okay. Can I have those all in favour of the as it is, but obviously with that minor, the school being well attended? All those in favour?
Go on then.
Whose phone's going?
Can't do it. We can't do it.
All those against? Did you vote in favour, Trevor?
Yes,
Oh, we
I
did.
did.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. 377. Decision whether to repaint the railings around the War Memorial and retouch up the lettering on the memorial. The War Memorial Commission has stipulated that the stone memorial should not be cleaned. This was from a parishioner. I know we have looked at this before. Joe went to the stone people and they said, don't you dare go near it, me and him, with a pressure hose. Because that's what we were going to do, wasn't it?
Yeah. It has been washed before and touched up.
So
I can't remember right on the
we
go.
are due for a wash, which Joe has had contact with the person. But the parishioner felt that the railings need a bit of a... And bearing in mind we are in the 80th anniversary this year, maybe it would be nice that we did spruce it up. We have, hang on a minute please, Adam, thank you.
It's First World War.
Pardon?
It's the First World War, we won't say.
Well, it is the First World War, but it also it's for V Day.
It has got the Second World War names
Yeah,
on
it has got second. Yeah, no, it has got Second World War names on it. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Phil, it has got Second World War names on it. I know they were put up for the First War, but yeah.
They're interested because my wife's got a great uncle on.
Oh, just pick those names up, why don't you? Keep dropping on the floor. So we have a very good painter and decorator in the village. So I was wondering if we maybe, Pete Geiger, maybe we could ask him to come and touch up the... Hang on a minute, Andrew, I can see you. I know, I can feel you're bursting, but can I just finish one part saying? Maybe we get that touched up. Yes, Andrew, what would you like to say?
The railings are taking apart.
Right.
Because when they were made, they were bolted together and the rust had got in the joints. I painted it last time.
Right.
And I've still got the tin of paint that I put on.
Okay. Might have gone off by now. When was that?
Well, it won't go because it's 10 years or more.
Oh, okay.
And it was done with agricultural
Okay.
machinery paint.
Lovely.
Better than anything you'll buy elsewhere.
So they got to be unbolted to be painted.
Unbolted, clean the rust off.
Right.
And then deal with that rust and then they want to paint.
Sounds like you talked yourself into a job there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you should show us.
You're all giving. I was joking with you.
Don't, because I'm not in a joking mood for things like that. I'm quite willing to do it again.
Well, anyway, all right, thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't need to.
Sorted, Steve, painting and... All right. Who's seconding?
I will.
Thank you. And vote in favour? Thank you.
Is there, I am look, but I know that at times there's quite a lot of ivy in behind, in the wall. I just wonder.
Well, yes, the wall needs repointing and all
Yeah.
the rest of it.
That
There's a
needs
lot
to
of
be
work
done,
to
doesn't
it. So Andrew's going to be busy.
No, wall more
Who's responsible for the wall?
No.
What, the wall round the
That would be-
memorial?
Well, no,
What you
no,
said,
the,
it
no,
was...
the wall's ours. The wall in
Yeah,
front
no,
of it's ours.
sorry, were you referring to the wall?
The wall at the back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was saying,
That would be
who's
the church.
that'll be the church.
A big church, yeah. Yeah, we did have a go at it.
Practice, you asked them to do that.
No.
Right, okay. Everyone finished with that? Great. Okay, members' reports, starting with Kath.
It was just a question regarding the football posts in the, is it the amenity field where the, have we had any quotes?
I contacted the gentleman that we were told made the previous post, and he says he didn't make them. So I don't know who that person is now. So no, I haven't got any other quotes at the moment. I've only got the commercially available quotes, estimates and prices. So if you do want a bespoke one, I need other names and contacts, please.
I was thinking of, Phil did bring up regarding
I think Andrew might know.
scaffolding.
Andrew's got his hand up again.
Oh,
He
I
might
didn't
want
see
to do
Andrew,
it again.
sorry.
Jeff Bailey, who used to live at the park, instigated the making of the goalposts up on the playing field. He had them made at Appledore Shipyard.
I think you said that last time,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Oh, didn't this all go wrong when you tried to
What I
find this person?
suggested, would you contact Gerald Ashton
Oh.
over at Parkham?
That's who I've spoken to.
Because Gerald got the equipment
She's already spoken to
to
her.
vend them.
Well, that's who I've spoken to.
And?
He didn't make them, and I said, is it something that you can help with? And he said he didn't know anything about it.
I'm just not buying it.
Nobody else, he can't do it. Somebody didn't ask him.
Okay. Well, he obviously don't do them.
He can do anything with steel. He's got the equipment to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And he said he can't do it. You've got the right Gerald Ashton?
Well, I got the, he gentleman
From
who lives at
Parkham.
Parkham,
If he can't do them, there's Stephen Grigg. He deals with
But
metalwork and
it's
fabrication.
what,
whether it can be
what we
plastic.
want to do as well, isn't it? Because I was thinking the one up at the top, the park playing field, they've just got two poles, the poles going around like that, haven't they, up there? Or do we want just like what's down at the amenity field now?
Yes, Trevor?
I was going to say, sure you contacted Gerald and not his brother, who
Well,
was David. He was the builder.
I got
I
his
think he would
telephone
say
number.
that's
I
obviously my
spoke to Mark, is
Don't
Gerald's
know,
son.
do they? Perhaps they don't talk to each other.
That would be fabulous if you would. And then could you let Joe know what he says, please? Yeah, brilliant. If you don't
Sounds like a
mind.
plan, yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
excellent.
like a plan.
Is that all right, Joe? Okay, and he'll report back to you. Brilliant, thank you. Right, thank you, Kath.
Has she got anything else?
Have you got anything else?
No, that's it
No,
for me.
yeah, I'm doing something. George?
Yes. After a lot of months, FH Brown and Co. We can get free advice from the government through FH Brown. RHX don't do it with the free advice from Thornleigh Moor of how to maximise the output from Thornleigh Moor as regards what we can do with it and all the grants and the things in the environment and whatever we can do with it. And Andrew Haywood and the guy, I forget his name now, whatever it was. We had a Zoom meeting, and Andrew is going to have a full report next month, give a full report to the Parish Council on what the free advice has given towards Thornleigh Moor. And the gentleman suggested that we can probably upgrade our grants we're getting now at the moment, is about 7,000 to 8,000 per year for Thornleigh Moor. We should be able to hit between 16 and 20,000. So RHX, Andrew Hayward of RHX will do a full report of the meeting, present it to the Parish Council, and then the Parish Council then can have a meeting with have a full meeting just on specific things, what can be done, and go from there. We are in an eight-year scheme on the mid-tier level, higher tier level SSI. It was a good job we didn't have this meeting before, because it's just been finalised in the last month, the rates, and they've upgraded stuff and they brought more stuff that come in and stuff with what we can do can go out. This is way above my pay grade. Andrew Hill will explain to you, but they've finalised what the figures of the money is, and that's why he's confident on the figures that I've been talking to you about. So we had that meeting this morning. So that will be presented to you. He'll come next month and do a full presentation, and then you can decide what you want, go from there. Okay?
So we can ask for that to be on the agenda, put on the agenda
So-
for next month now, and then we can forget that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we put that on, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair?
Oh, yeah. Joe
Joe.
done it.
Look forward to it.
Is that it, George?
Sorry, yes. Oh yeah, on the agenda section, when it's sent out to us so we give time, I thought it was agreed that we could have the 7 days before, you can't put anything on within 7 days, but I wanted it with 2 days before we had a meeting with Stacey Dory, said that would be feasible. I was wondering if we can have that operating, please.
He's looking at you.
Well, I already sent the agenda out, a draft agenda out prior to the meeting, so you already received the agenda beforehand, and then I send the final version of it.
But it's not sent, we can't put anything on the agenda within 7 working days of the meeting. And all I've asked for, and we've had it in the past, is either give us a day to look at it, or 2 days to look at it, I would like, to be able to see what's there and put on what we can then put on for you, what we suggest we put on, and you decide what you do with it from there.
But you can submit anything for an agenda at any time from today for the next meeting.
I know
You
that.
have the entire month
I
to
would like
send.
to see what's on there before, and it was part of the meeting that we'd do that.
It wasn't, but
Well, it was.
I think we've been round this over and over, and I don't know really what else to say, to be perfectly honest with you. But
Well,
you're already getting the agenda sooner than needs to be said, and it's already, you know, I'm already doing that at the request of council.
It was agreed at the meeting that would give us a day to look at it, put stuff there, put stuff on it.
I think you've misunderstood
I'll
that
tell you a way
completely.
of sorting this out. Joe, can we have the agenda put on the agenda next month?
That's
and then
fine.
we can phone on?
Thank you. Thank you.
That's right, no problem. Anything else?
Thank you.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Nothing from me?
No.
Trevor?
Yeah, I'm not happy that I don't get a correspondence list.
Okay, thank you.
And also, a planning application has got the wrong name on it.
Which one's that?
Well, the clerk has put Milton Farm Buckland Brewer.
Yeah.
Retrospective planning application for a machinery track. Well, that should be Milford.
Oh, I'm sure that was just a typing error. I'm
Well,
sure we all make
these things happen too often. And
well, I don't think they do, Trevor, but carry on.
the next one was the planning application that went in on the where are we to? In November. It was cleared. The application was sent to the clerk, and we have a time from the worksheet to say that they send it out, because I asked why it wasn't on the January meeting, and for the Rose in the Grove.
We discussed this last time.
I know, but according to Torres District Council's worksheet, we had notification in time for it to be put on the January, I think that's right, on the January meeting, and we haven't had it.
I think, Joe, you explained that last time.
I don't have any planning applications
For
with that
Groves and
address
Grove.
on it.
No.
I don't know, I don't recognise that
You're
address
sent
at
them
all.
through, aren't you?
I send them
Yeah.
through the same day as I open it and process it. I send them out to you. I log it on the planning register and I send it out and I save a copy of the letter. And with regard to the names that are quoted, I usually cut and paste from the letter that I received from Torridge.
We've got it in writing here from Torres District Council.
Right, let's have a look at that a minute, please. Thank you.
Is that sent to Buckland Brewer?
Yeah.
Do all of them come to us?
It says
Yeah.
milk.
All of them.
No, this is this Rose in the Grove.
Rose in the Grove
what's that
one,
Is
not
that-
the Milford one. I'm moved on to the
Can you
next.
pass that over to Joe, and then maybe Joe can look into this?
There's a reference on the bottom there and from
If it
Torres
hasn't been sent
District
to Joe, it's
Council.
not Joe's fault. If it hasn't been sent to Joe, then she obviously...
Yeah,
I
but
wanted,
what
I
Trevor's
wanted it on the agenda, you see, back then, and
Yeah.
didn't get put on the agenda. And
Oh, well.
it's, well, they hadn't had a request to extend the period either, Torres District
Sorry,
Council.
this one was done. It was back in September. So I don't know if it's come back round, but it was Tithicop.
Right.
And it was supported by the council.
Did they get?
That's what
So-
it's shown as. That reference number
September, so we've got
is the
September.
conversion of a redundant barn to
Oh, I remember that now, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's that
Oh, so we've already
application.
voted for it.
So that was September.
And it was supported.
Well, someone didn't correct. Somewhere along the line, anyway.
So they've changed the name.
So if it's come back round, I've just not spotted that it's another application under the same reference.
Here's the application number for the one on.
Okay, right, I think what we'll do is just cut that one short. I think we'll just look into that. Yeah?
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Anything else, Trevor?
Only that we haven't received minutes to be able to print it in the village scene like it was promised. So,
Okay, she accepts that, fine, thank you. Lovely, okay. What's that? Did you have anything?
No.
He said no.
Dave, he said no.
You did say no, didn't you?
I know, I can't believe it.
I know, so
I'll pick something up if you want.
District Councillor's report, please. District Councillor's report, please. Hello. Oh yeah, loads of them. I know. I've got one hiding. Councillor Hicks is hiding at the back of the room. Which one of you lovely gentlemen would like to go first? Go on then. Would you like to come and use the microphone?
I don't think I need a microphone.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, Torrance is increasing its council tax by 2.9%, which is very well done in current times. I would suggest, if you like to compare with Windsor or Slough, you might very well. Councillor Pennington tends mostly into telling us.
Yeah, I do the work, he's got the power.
Do you want to talk?
Well,
you
no,
don't have to, Phil, if you don't want to.
no, I've just come to the microphone because I haven't got the voice that Bob's got.
Sorry, do you want to grab it?
Yeah, just to say that Bob's got all the chairs on the council, he knows everything that's happening. We cut the ground for the new recycling centre up against the water the other day, so that's a step forward. You're good at elections here at Buckland Brewer. You've had 4 now. We're going to have another one in May. Court ruled that Angela Rayner, I think her name was, if I remember rightly, said that there's going to be 17 districts that got to go through the elections. Devon County, James was hoping that you wouldn't have to go through the elections. You'd have to stay under 12 months.
You're slightly wrong.
I
voted very differently.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
I got to apologise for getting things wrong, but there was a hope from Devon County prior to the decision that the Devon County would go on. It means that Torridge is going to do the work of doing the elections again. Poor old Tom Vanstone, he's running around like mad, and you guys at Buckland, you love a bit election up here, I know as well, so from that side. And obviously we've got all this unitary stuff going on. I've never been in a time that it's been so uncertain of where we're going in one thing or another. Money's coming left, right and centre. And given the hospital situation up there, I mean, Boris promised us, I think, 40 million actually for the hospital. And it's now all just evaporated. So what you can trust in politics, quite frankly, I'll just see what comes along and we'll go from there. So if you want to stand, you probably have to get your name in probably end of March, early May, and get some centres who say you'll be a good guy. Anybody who wants to do it, please do. But I can tell you now, you have to go to Exeter, and that's probably going to be our new centre once they get the unitary sorted out anyway. So if you like travelling, there won't be very much left up here because all the local offices, North Devon District Council at Brinsworthy and Riverbank House down at Torridge, probably won't be in being for the future. So you'll see what's left. Well, they'll be in Exeter. All the big weeks will be down there. We've got refuse and recycling a bit, and you'll get.
Listen, in Cornwall,
yeah.
They sort of are way ahead of us down there.
Way ahead.
On this unitary thing, sorry. Someone said to me there was about all the districts were amalgamated into 1 or 2, whatever, and there was about 10.
Yeah.
£500,000 CEOs redundant. It's so they are saving themselves about 10 million quid in fees.
Well, we have 8 districts.
So I don't know,
yeah.
Is that saving costs of money, saving money and all the rest of it? I mean, I don't understand this unity thing. I don't know which way to go.
Right.
But basically, it will be run by 1 or 2 people, the whole of Devon. Devon in that is
Yeah,
Torquay, isn't it?
what they're proposing, George, is I understand it, James will probably tell me differently, but they're looking for £500,000, 500,000 head of population to make a unitary.
So how many?
500,000 people.
Yeah.
Cornwall's 580,000 people, okay, so they're unitary. And they started off, I think, 123 councillors, and they cut them all down. And they cut them. We have 8 districts, and I think we will divide into Devon when it shakes out into 2 unitaries.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to have. So you have 2 chief execs, 2 top tier tables, and everybody at the lower tier is still going to deliver services that you have around the area. The big one I'm worried about is the planning one, because we've got local plan. We do planning, okay? Yeah. And that planning will now go to Exeter, and I'm just worried that you've got to make sure at parish level that you can influence what you want for your parish, because look, you know, I've seen how much you've done in Buckland over the last 2 years. I mean, I've only been your member since 2019 because of the boundary changes in 2018. But it is what powers you're going to have once this situation gets through, because you're now going to be a long way away from where the centre of power is. And
North Devon suffer because Torquay is going to have it.
Well,
How are we going to get our fair share of what we're down to?
If you, okay.
Every school child in North Devon gets, I read, 20% less allocated than what South Devon did.
Right.
Devon, compared to the eastern side, I think they're about 40% less. Now,
I can't prove to you.
How do we?
All I can say to you, if you look at the way the police commissioner has worked, and the police situation is, we are now paying for 3 police constables at the present moment.
Oh, don't.
And that's all around.
It's so wrong.
I mean,
it's absolutely disgraceful, and the amount of time they take to look into these investigations, and that could be another 2 years yet.
I appreciate so, but you're paying £580,000 now just on 3 police constables now.
Disgraceful.
And the crime commissioner, Alison Hernandez, had a deputy that was both very neighbouring in each other to Torquay. So come to where it's going to be. We've been always the poor relation. If you look at every mile you come out of Exeter, our GVA, I think is nearly half of what Exeter is. And you can see, when you go to Exeter, you can see the university, you see younger people, it's a completely different feel. You've got the industrial park, you've got the airport, you've got the railway, you've got the motorway.
South Devon are loads for us, aren't they? We are going to be the forgotten ones up here, aren't we?
Well, there's pockets of deprivation and
well, I know.
That's right. And South Devon's quite interesting.
Torres is mostly secondary private county, whatever you call Torres, in the country.
Yeah.
So, you know, didn't down South Devon's up there.
Oh, no. There's pockets of Torquay.
Torquay have got their place.
They've got their, I mean, it is pockets, and this is the difficulty, and you can find pockets in different places and argue. But generally speaking, life expectancy in Ilfracombe is 17 years less than in Newton Poppleford in East Devon. So if you're going to live to 83 in South, you're 66, you won't get your pension. So that's just the way it is these days. Any other questions?
Can you tell me now, Alison Hernandez is taking £9 million, or intending to take £9 million out of the second homes increase in.
I don't know. Is it an aspiration? I don't know. I haven't.
That's what she's writing in the papers.
Why is it Alison Hernandez doing that?
Well, she's
I
asking.
don't know who she's getting her hands on, but that's what she's broadcasting.
Well, she's asking us. I understand it. Yeah, that's right. We're all fighting for that extra share. Yeah.
I thought that second home council tax was to help youngsters have affordable housing.
Yes.
Always bills.
That was the intention.
Isn't it putting 3 more police officers or something? Yeah.
I don't know if you read the newspapers this week. There was somebody with a knife in Jubilee Square, and there's a fracas outside the King's Arms all on the same day. So it was interesting. We were told we've got the safest place in the country around this area. So we are doing well. The police have got a hard job to judge it. But there's an argument about what the second home is going to start. Interestingly, in my mailbag, I've had 2 or 3 second home owners who are complaining about the second home tax that might be coming down the line at the moment. So we've got to bear in mind all the people that live within the area, and we reflect everybody's views at the same time.
My experience is of kind of Devon County Council is that kind of when there's a meeting in Exeter, it's always at 9 o'clock, and they couldn't possibly come to Barnstable for 9:30 or 10 o'clock because it's far too far away.
Well, what always amazes me, we have a relationship with Devon County, and it's called HATOC, which is Highways and Transport Committee. And it's been cancelled 2 or 3 times. And when I think of the state of the roads, and we can't even get HATOC running in Torridge, which is the communication between Devon County and, yeah, I mean, the number of times as a district councillor, people come and say to me, the rules are terrible. I say, yeah, they are. Go and speak to James Marsh. And they do. And they do. And we pass the buck to one another, you know, and that's where the confusion becomes, you know, so simple as that.
I know that there was going to be a meeting with the leader of Devon County Council in Torrington, and it was cancelled because somebody was ill, whether he was ill. Is that going to be rescheduled, do you know?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'll let you
Okay. Chairman, members, ladies and gentlemen, I think the first thing we need to talk about is devolution and unitary. They are 2 very different things. And there's lots of confusion, and why wouldn't there be confusion? So, devolution. Devolution is a deal between Devon County Council and Torbay, okay, to get money and power decided on a more of a local level rather than being decided in Westminster. It will be decided at County Hall, okay. There has been some resistance about it, and to be fair, some of the, sorry Phil, I'll come back to you, some of the district councils have felt a bit left out in the cold. And to be fair, I can't blame them, because they have been left out in the cold. It is a deal between the county council and the unitary council that is Torbay. So devolution is about bringing money and power down from Westminster to county council level. Unitary is very, very different. Unitary is, which has been sanctioned by a government white paper, and a white paper means it will happen. So all this tosh about, oh, well, we'll discuss it and we'll fight them on the beaches and all that, forget all about it. It's happening, okay? There was a discussion led by the leader of Devon County Council and the Conservative team, which I am a member of, to try and scrap the elections that are due in May. As I've said to you at last meeting, I am not standing. Again, I'm retiring. I've been 24 years and I have nearly had it up to my eyebrows. I've enjoyed it, but it's a changing place. And their view, the Conservatives' view about why they wanted to cancel the elections, is because there is going to be 3 elections in 3 years. So there will be an election this year, which will be the normal, every 4 years you have a county council election. Next year, those people that stand at this election will have to stand again next year for a seat on the shadow board of the unitary. Okay? What they mean by the shadow board is that it will take 12 months to get things right and changing from Devon County Council to whatever the unitary council will be. And then in 2027, when Phil and Bob retire, or stop, when their 4 years is up, sorry, that's better, when their 4 years is up, those same people that are elected next year will have to stand again as a unitary member. Okay? So in effect, you've got 3 county council elections in 3 years. And it was felt by the Conservative group at County Hall that actually the 1.38 million that it cost 4 years ago to run a county council election, that money would be better saved for the sake of having an extra 12 months, which is what happened during COVID. It all got held off for 12 months during COVID, would be better spent in other ways. But we live in a democratic society, and it is right, in my personal opinion, that people are public, get the chance to vote for who they want to in the appropriate time, i.e. every 4 years for the county council. Where we are with the unitary is, I think, there will be an application for 3 unitaries in Devon, if not 4. Fella's quite right. The government have stated very clearly that you have to have a minimum of 500,000 people to have a unitary council. And what the unitary council is what Devon County Council and Torres District Council is at the moment. So instead of having one council that deals with planning, refuge and street scene, other stuff like Torridge, and then you've got Devon County Council that deal with roads, adult care, child care, schools, all that type of thing. You do what Cornwall do already, and you chuck them all in together. So you've got one council. So our residents have just got one place to ring and one group of people to speak to. Because I am absolutely sure that many of our residents don't actually really understand whether they should be calling Torridge or they should be calling Devon. And that is why Phil, Bob and other members of Torridge Council sometimes send people to me and I send them back to them because different councils do different things. So let's get back to these 3 unitaries or 4. Exeter City Council tried to have a unitary back in 2011. They will be trying again now. They really want, they're up for it. Plymouth is already a unitary council, and they too would like. Both of them led by Labour. So it's a Labour thing. One might think that could be happening. But what they have to do, Plymouth have got about 300,000 people that they represent currently. So they need another 200,000 people to make their 500,000. So what are they going to do to achieve that? They'll probably go down to Kingsbridge, so they'll take away a bit of South Hams. They'll probably go up to Tavistock, and they'll take off a bit of West Devon. That'll be their 500,000. Exeter, they need 500,000. They got 181,000, so they've got a fair way to go. So they're going to take in Crediton, probably Tiverton. They'll probably leave bits they don't want, like Bampton. Then they will go out the other way, taking Cranbrook from East Devon, taking all that business from the airports, down to Budley, Solderton, all that sort of area. That'll be their 500,000. Where does that leave us? Leaves us with a horseshoe. So there'll be Torridge, North Devon, that little bit of Mid Devon that's left that nobody wants, Teignbridge, and a bit of South Hams, because that's what will be left. That takes out all the big money earning area of Exeter, takes out all of that. The only good thing about it is that, from what I can see of it, the money or the powerhouse of that horseshoe in terms of economics will be Holsworthy. Because we've got that wonderful thing called that industrial estate where there are millions of pounds raised every week. So that's where we are, and to me that's the biggest problem with unitary, although I'm sold absolutely to unitary because there are hundreds of thousands, millions to be saved. There's so much duplication. You are quite right. 8 chief executives. Steve Hurst, who's done a great presentation, 3 or 4 weeks ago, Phil? On this. And I've heard this presentation 6 times, and Steve Hurst, was the best one. He gave an honest perspective. You've got 8 district councils. The chief execs of each of them, I expect, would average 120 grand, one way and another, with everything else, pensions and everything. So there's £1 million. You end up one and you pay them 200,000, you save yourself 800,000 straight away. However, local government doesn't always work like that. And local government, Devon at the minute, are making 90 people redundant and are employing 2 directors, or want to employ 2 directors, at 130,000 each. So those 2 are going to cost 260,000. They're getting rid of 30 people on 20,000 each. And there's savings, but not massive. So it's big, big changes to local government. What will happen, I suspect, either Plymouth or Exeter probably won't achieve what they want to do, but probably one of them will. And I hope Plymouth, for our sakes, I hope Plymouth is the one. Because we, here, I'm not talking about a political group, I'm talking about the residents and the businesses of who are in Torridge need Exeter so much. If we haven't got Exeter, we're up the river, in my opinion. More important stuff. 11 contacts from your residents this month. Most of it about roads, to be fair. A couple of people chittering about our MP. One chittering to me about councillors' conduct. And we've heard what's happened to one of the district councillors in Torridge, and we'll move on from that. But it does state one thing, that whole Lenny Ford situation, is that when you stand as parish councillors, you will get some criticism, as you will all know. I get criticism, Phil, Bob, everybody gets criticism if you put your head above the parapet. But it takes a very special type of person to be a parish and town councillor, because you get absolutely no pay and you get absolutely very little thanks. So thank you for what you continue to do. You've had a long old meeting tonight and you haven't all agreed all the time. But that's healthy, isn't it? I would have thought. Yeah, it's democracy. Apart from that, I stand down 5th of May. You will have a new county councillor, and I wish whoever that is all the very best. I've actually enjoyed it. I particularly enjoy coming to Buckland. I was a member of Buckland Brewer Young Farmers 40 years ago. But the one thing I would say, isn't it refreshing when you have a young lady like Rosie, what's she called? Yeah. Come and address and speak so passionately about what she believes. And in your parish, starting a business and employing 6 or 7 people, which would be quite a big employer for your parish. And she's a farmer's daughter. I remember her grandfather tremendously well. Great guy. And her dad's a great guy too. So you've got them in your parish. Just look after them. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Jay, you want to talk to your councillors, because the planning authorities, that everyone she applied for is a bit negative, so I think she needs a lot of help pushing through. Right, so.
Yeah, and I think it's really good, Madam Chairman, that you have these people and one of your homegrown residents doing things for more young families. That's absolutely great.
right, we're getting there, guys, honestly. New planning applications, Milford Farm, Buckland Brewer, retrospective planning application for machinery and cattle truck. Has everyone read all this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Have those in favour?
Yeah, agreed.
Are you in favour or are you abstaining or you?
Why do you ask me?
No, because I didn't know if you're putting up after bringing it down again. Are you saying yes?
No. So what was the question again?
Right, for those four.
Four.
Right, everybody up for four.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Right, we've obviously heard from Rosie, Lower Orley Lodge, Buckland Brewer, New Children's Day Surgery and Associated...
Nursery.
What did I say?
Surgery.
Days Nursery and don't minute that, please. Days Nursery and Associated Centre Work. I think this is a fabulous idea. And all those in favour, I take it you've all read it. All those in favour, definitely, 100%. Thank you very much. Bank accounts. Joe?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
just
sorry.
open it. Just give me a sec.
Bank accounts. I'm just waiting for...
Oh, Tom.
Chair, can I excuse myself?
Oh, please do.
I really enjoyed this evening's meeting.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much. I'm glad you did.
It was a new pair together.
Take care.
Yes.
Okay, right then, what we've got in our cash book is £32,268.80. There are reserves of nearly 22,000. We've got outstanding cheques of 4,340 within that, so the closing bank balance is a bit less at 27,928 at the end of January. One larger payment has come in, and that's the Public Rights of Way grant. So I put in for 2 grants at the very beginning of the year, and it's the payment's finally been made, £1,700. The restricted funds for Thornhill Head, overall closing fund balance there is £48,543. The unreconciled cheque is actually a Grazier's cheque relating to last year. It still hasn't been presented. And the Grazier's payments are due to be made next month for this year.
So one of them hasn't been presented?
No. It's a gentleman that lives in Oxford, so I haven't had any response or anything, and nothing's been presented.
But he's got to cash it within 6 months.
Yeah,
though,
the
isn't it?
cheque's out of date now, so it'll have to be reissued.
Or
But I don't know whether I've got the right address for him. Obviously, I've got no other way of contacting him, so I'll just have to wait for contact from him. So, payments since the last meeting, payroll as usual, the sound equipment, that's the second half of the payments, so that's the final payment there. The defibrillator and cabinet has been paid for $2,600. And then it's just the usual monthly electricity bill and quarterly water.
How's the sound equipment? Is the anonymous donor going to be billed for that? Because obviously the parish council haven't paid for that, just to point that out. The sound equipment obviously isn't being paid for by the parish council, it's by an anonymous donor. So are we billing the anonymous?
I will have a conversation and work out the way to...
Thank you.
Now that's been paid, yeah. Right. As mentioned, the pathway scheme, the only other payment that's come in is on Thornhill Head, and that is the annual DEFRA payment, 8,800, and that's it.
Thank you. Thanks, Chair.
Can I go to the Graziers? Do we pay them once a year or twice a year?
Once a year.
Once a year. And that is in arrears for forward?
We just pay each calendar year in March, and the DEFRA payment normally comes in around now.
Sorry, I'll rephrase that. Is Graziers paid in arrears or advance?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
Arrears. Thank you.
There you go. Okay, everybody,
Can I just have a proposer? Sorry, proposer and seconder for that.
that's what I was going to do.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, beg pardon.
You preempted me.
I thought you were closing the meeting.
No, I wasn't, no. Can I have somebody propose the authorisation of outstanding payments?
Yeah.
And somebody second it. Thank you. Everybody in favour? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lynn and Chris as well. And thank you for your patience. Thank you very much, everybody. Meeting's closed. It's 9:15. God, I've got another part.